Maya had always believed in the power of dreams. From a young age, she imagined herself leading great companies, making decisions that would change the world. She did not come from a family of wealth or influence. Her parents worked hard in small jobs, teaching her the value of honesty, kindness, and determination. Maya carried those lessons in her heart every day. Now, at 35, she was the CEO of a fast-growing technology company called BrightPath. The company was known for its innovative ideas and its commitment to helping people live better lives through smart devices and clean energy solutions. Maya had worked her way up, starting as a junior engineer, then a manager, and finally, the leader of the entire company. It was not easy. She had faced many obstacles along the way, doubts from others, long hours, and tough decisions. But she never gave up. Today was an important day. BrightPath was about to make a deal that could change everything. They had been talking with a major bank about a partnership worth $2 billion. This partnership could help BrightPath expand its work to new countries and create thousands of jobs. Maya felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she prepared to meet the bank's representatives. She arrived early at the bank's tall glass building, dressed in a smart blue suit, her hair tied back neatly. She held her company ID and some documents tightly in her hand. This moment was a chance to prove to the world that her company belonged on the biggest stages. As she walked through the lobby, she smiled at the security guard and gave a polite nod to a few people sitting on benches. She felt calm but focused. She knew her team was counting on her. When Maya reached the front desk, a young bank teller looked up at her. The teller's eyes quickly scanned Maya's ID, and then, without a word, she tossed the ID onto the floor. It was a quick, small motion, but for Maya, it felt like a shock. Maya bent down carefully and picked up her ID. Her heart beat faster. She looked at the teller, hoping to find an apology or at least a glance of respect. But the teller's face was blank, almost as if she had not noticed what she had done. Maya straightened up and smiled politely. "Excuse me," she said softly, "I believe this belongs to me." The teller did not respond and looked away. For a moment, Maya felt something cold and heavy settle inside her chest. It was not just about the ID, it was the silent message behind that small act. A message that said she was not expected, not welcome, and not important. But Maya had learned to hold her head high. She knew this moment could not break her. She handed over her documents to the bank official waiting nearby and followed him to the meeting room. Inside, the room was bright and filled with serious faces. The bank's executives sat around a long table, their expressions unreadable. Maya took a deep breath and began her presentation. She spoke clearly about BrightPath's vision, the potential for growth, and the benefits of the partnership. As she spoke, Maya's mind returned to the moment at the front desk. She realized that the partnership was more than just a business deal. It was about respect for the work she had done, the people she represented, and the future she wanted to build. The meeting lasted for hours. Questions came fast, and Maya answered with confidence. Her team watched her from the corner of the room, proud and hopeful. When the meeting ended, Maya packed her papers carefully. She looked around at the faces again. There was no smile, no handshake. Just silence. As she walked out of the building, Maya felt tired but strong. She knew that the real journey was just beginning. Sometimes, the hardest battles were the ones fought with patience and dignity. That night, Maya sat by the window of her apartment, looking out at the city lights. She thought about her parents, about the little girl who once dreamed of leading companies, and about the woman she had become. The road ahead was uncertain, but Maya's heart was full of hope. She believed that one day, the world would see her not for the color of her skin or the place she came from, but for the strength and vision she carried inside. And with that belief, Maya smiled quietly, ready to face whatever came next. The next morning, Maya woke up early, as she always did. The soft sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting a gentle glow on her bedroom. But today, the brightness outside felt heavier than usual. Her mind was restless, replaying the events of the day before: the bank teller's cold gesture, the silence in the meeting room, the way the partnership seemed to hang in the balance. Maya sat at her kitchen table with a cup of coffee, staring out the window at the bustling street below. People hurried past, unaware of the storm inside her. She knew she had worked hard to get where she was, yet sometimes it felt like the world still saw her differently. She had faced doubts before, in meetings, in boardrooms, even in her own company, but this felt personal. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from her close friend and colleague, Anna. "How did the meeting go? Heard about the teller? I'm here if you want to talk." Maya smiled softly. She typed back quickly, "Long story. Not the best, but I'm okay. Thanks for checking in." Anna understood Maya's world better than most. They had met years ago during a tech conference and had supported each other through every challenge. Maya knew she could count on Anna to listen without judgment. Later that day, Maya met Anna at a small cafe near the office. The place was cozy, with warm lighting and the soft sound of jazz playing in the background. They sat by the window, sharing a table and a quiet conversation. "I can't believe the teller did that," Anna said, shaking her head. "It's small, but it's huge. It's like she doesn't see you for who you are." Maya nodded slowly. "It's not just about me," she said. "It's about every person who feels unseen or underestimated. I know I have a job to do to lead Bright Path, to prove that we belong at the table. But sometimes, it feels like no matter what we do, the respect doesn't come easy." Anna reached across the table and squeezed Maya's hand. "You're stronger than you think. And you don't have to prove anything to people who don't want to see you. Your work, your vision, that's what matters." Maya looked out the window again, watching a group of children playing in the park. Their laughter was bright and free, untouched by the worries of the world. For a moment, she wished she could return to that simplicity, to believe that everything would be easy. But she knew life was not that simple. Success was not handed to anyone on a silver plate. It was earned with sweat, tears, and sometimes silence. Back at Bright Path, Maya's team was waiting for her. They knew about the incident at the bank, and though no one said it aloud, they shared the same frustration and hope. The company was more than just a business, it was a family, a community of people who believed in making a difference. Maya gathered her team in the conference room. Her voice was steady but filled with emotion. "We are facing challenges," she said, "not just in business but in how we are seen by others. But this is our moment to rise above. We will not let a single moment of disrespect define us or stop us from reaching our goals." Her team nodded, their faces determined. They understood that the path ahead would be hard, but they were ready to walk it together. That evening, Maya sat at her desk, reviewing the numbers and plans for the partnership. She knew the deal was fragile. The bank's silence after the meeting was louder than any words. No calls, no emails. It was as if the door they had worked so hard to open was slowly closing. She remembered a story her father used to tell her when she was a child. It was about a river that flowed through a rocky valley. The river faced many obstacles: stones, cliffs, dry patches, but it kept moving forward. Sometimes, it flowed gently, sometimes, it rushed fiercely. But it never stopped. Maya felt that river inside herself. No matter the barriers, no matter the cold looks or silent refusals, she would keep moving forward. She owed it to herself, to her company, and to every young girl who dreamed of leading one day. As night fell, Maya stood by her window again, looking at the city's lights twinkling in the distance. The world was quiet now, but tomorrow would bring new challenges, new battles, and new hopes. She whispered softly to herself, "This is not the end. It's only the beginning." Maya woke up before dawn, as she usually did. The quiet of the early morning wrapped around her like a soft blanket. She moved slowly through her apartment, careful not to wake anyone else. But her mind was restless, swirling with memories and thoughts she tried to keep at bay. The incident at the bank wasn't just a moment in the present, it stirred something deeper inside her. It reminded her of times long ago, back when she was a young girl growing up in a small town. Back then, Maya had dreams, just like now, but the world often made her feel small and invisible. Her mother used to say, "Maya, you are like a tree. No matter how strong the wind blows, your roots are deep." Those words had comforted her through the hardest times. But sometimes, even deep roots feel shaken. Maya sat down at her kitchen table and pulled out an old photo album. She flipped through the pages slowly, her fingers tracing the pictures. There was a photo of her with her father, both smiling widely in a field of sunflowers. Another showed her standing in front of her first school, beaming with pride. She remembered the long walks home from school, where some people would stare or whisper. She remembered the days when teachers doubted her abilities or classmates ignored her. But she also remembered the small moments of kindness: the neighbor who gave her extra fruit, the librarian who always saved the best books for her, and her parents who believed in her even when others didn't. Maya closed the album and took a deep breath. She realized that those memories, both painful and hopeful, were part of what made her strong today. They had shaped her courage, her determination, and her belief in fairness. Later that day, Maya decided to visit her parents. She wanted to share the story of the bank teller with them, not because she needed sympathy, but because their support always grounded her. She hoped their wise words would help her find peace. Her parents welcomed her with warm smiles and open arms. They listened quietly as Maya told them about the meeting, the teller, and the silence that followed. Her mother reached out and took her hand. "Sometimes, the world tests us," her mother said gently. "But it does not define who we are. You carry so much strength inside, Maya. Remember, respect is something we give, but it must also be earned. Not everyone understands that." Her father nodded, adding, "You have built something beautiful. Don't let anyone's small act take that away. Keep moving forward with your heart." Maya felt a wave of calm wash over her. She knew her parents' love was a shield against the world's harshness. She hugged them tightly, feeling renewed. Back at Bright Path, Maya faced the daily challenges of running a company. There were meetings, emails, decisions to make, and people to inspire. The pressure was immense, but she never lost sight of why she had started. One afternoon, as she walked through the office, she noticed a young employee sitting alone, looking worried. Maya stopped and smiled. "Is everything okay?" she asked gently. The employee looked up, surprised. "I'm just nervous about the presentation tomorrow. I don't want to mess it up." Maya nodded understandingly. "I know how that feels. But remember, every step forward is a chance to learn. You don't have to be perfect, just be yourself and do your best." The young employee smiled shyly. "Thank you, Maya. That means a lot." Maya continued walking, feeling the importance of small moments like these. Leading was not just about big deals or partnerships, it was about lifting others up, inspiring confidence, and building a community. That evening, Maya returned to her apartment, exhausted but hopeful. She opened her laptop and checked the messages. There was an email from the bank, brief and formal, stating that the partnership discussions were on hold for now. The silence was heavy, but Maya refused to let it break her spirit. She closed the laptop and looked out the window at the stars twinkling above. The night sky reminded her that even in darkness, light was always present. Maya whispered to herself, "I will keep going. For me, for Bright Path, and for everyone who believes in a better future." As she prepared for bed, Maya felt a quiet strength growing inside her. The shadows of the past no longer felt like chains. Instead, they were reminders of how far she had come and how much further she could go. Days turned into weeks, and the silence from the bank's side grew heavier. Maya checked her phone and email more often than she wanted, hoping for some sign that the partnership would move forward. But nothing came. The $2 billion deal, once so full of promise, now felt like a distant dream. At BrightPath's office, Maya's team watched her closely. They knew how important the partnership was, and they also saw the toll the waiting took on her. Still, no one spoke of giving up. One morning, Maya gathered her team in the meeting room. Her eyes met each person's, full of quiet determination. "I know the silence feels like a wall," she said softly, "but walls can be broken down. We have to keep moving forward together." The team nodded, encouraged by her words. After the meeting, Maya returned to her office. She sat at her desk and thought deeply about what had happened at the bank. The teller's action, the cold throw of her ID onto the floor, still echoed in her mind. It was a small moment, but it held a larger meaning. Maya realized that sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. It can be used to ignore, to refuse, or to push someone away. But silence can also be a space where strength grows quietly, where decisions are made, and where new paths are found. She decided she would not wait passively for the bank to speak. Instead, she would focus on what she could control: her company, her team, and her vision. Maya called a meeting with her closest advisors. "We need a new plan," she said. "The partnership with the bank is important, but it is not the only way forward. BrightPath's mission is bigger than any one deal." Her advisors agreed, and together they brainstormed new ideas, new projects, new markets, new partnerships. They looked beyond the bank, seeking opportunities where BrightPath could make an even greater impact. One idea stood out: a community program to bring technology education to underprivileged children. Maya loved the idea. It was a way to give back and to create future leaders, just like she had once dreamed of becoming. She threw herself into the project, visiting schools and meeting children eager to learn. Their excitement reminded her why she had started BrightPath in the first place. One afternoon, at a small community center, a boy named Daniel approached her. His eyes were bright with curiosity. "Miss Maya," he said shyly, "do you think I could be a CEO someday?" Maya smiled warmly. "Daniel, you can be anything you want. The world needs people like you, people who believe in themselves and work hard." Daniel beamed, and Maya felt a deep joy she had not felt in a long time. Meanwhile, the silence from the bank continued. No meetings were scheduled. No emails came through. Some of Maya's team began to feel discouraged. But Maya stayed calm. She understood that sometimes, people choose silence because they are uncertain or afraid. It did not mean defeat. One evening, Maya sat alone in her office, the city lights shining outside the window. She thought about the power of silence, how it could hurt, but also how it could be a moment to gather strength and find new directions. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Anna, her friend and confidant. "No matter what happens, remember how far you've come. You are not alone." Maya smiled and replied, "Thank you. That means everything." As she prepared to leave the office, Maya looked around at the empty desks. Each one belonged to someone who believed in the future they were building together. She whispered to herself, "Silence will not stop us. We will find our way." The days passed slowly as the silence from the bank continued. Maya's mind often drifted to the important partnership and the uncertain future it held. Yet, she never let doubt take over. She believed in her company, in her team, and most of all, in herself. One morning, Maya received a call from the board of directors at BrightPath. They wanted to meet urgently to discuss the partnership and the direction of the company. Maya felt a mix of nerves and determination. She knew this meeting was important. The board was worried about the silence from the bank and how it might affect the company's growth. Maya prepared carefully for the meeting. She reviewed all the facts, the company's financial health, and the new projects her team had developed. But more than that, she prepared to speak from her heart. When she entered the boardroom, she saw familiar faces, people who had watched BrightPath grow from a small startup into a respected company. Some looked concerned, others hopeful. The chairperson, Mr. Allen, spoke first. Maya, the board is worried about the partnership with the bank. The silence is troubling. We need to know what you plan to do next. Maya took a deep breath and looked around the room. I understand your concerns, she said. The silence from the bank has been difficult, but it has also opened our eyes to new possibilities. She told them about the new projects, the community program to teach technology to children, the search for other partnerships, and the plans to expand BrightPath's work in other markets. But most importantly, Maya continued, this is a moment for us to stand strong. Respect is not just given, it is earned through hard work and integrity. We cannot control others' actions, but we can control how we respond. The room was quiet. Maya's words seemed to touch something deeper than business strategy. Mr. Allen nodded slowly. You have shown great leadership, Maya. It is clear you are thinking beyond the immediate challenges. The board supports you. One by one, the other directors expressed their confidence in Maya's vision. The meeting ended with renewed energy and a shared commitment to BrightPath's future. After the meeting, Maya felt a lightness in her chest she hadn't felt in weeks. The board's trust was a powerful gift. It reminded her that she was not alone in this journey. Back at her office, Maya opened an email from the bank. It was short but polite, stating that the bank needed more time to review the proposal. No promises, no dates, just silence once again. Maya smiled softly. We will wait, she whispered, but we will not stop. Her phone rang. It was Anna. How did the meeting go? Anna asked. Better than I expected, Maya replied. The board stands with us. Now it's time to focus on what we can build ourselves. Anna laughed. I knew you'd handle it with grace. You're amazing, Maya. Maya laughed back, feeling the warmth of friendship and support. That night, Maya sat on her balcony, watching the stars twinkle above the city. She thought about the journey so far, the challenges, the small victories, and the moments of doubt. But above all, she thought about the strength inside her and the team that believed in her. Maya knew the road ahead was still long and full of unknowns. But she was ready. She had learned that silence, though difficult, could not stop her. It was a space where new ideas grew, where patience and courage lived. She whispered to the night sky, this is just the beginning. We will rise. Weeks passed, and the silence from the bank grew louder in Maya's world. The $2 billion partnership that once seemed certain had slowly slipped away, not with a clear answer, but with quiet absence. No calls, no meetings, no explanations. BrightPath's office hummed with activity, but beneath the busy work was a shared disappointment. The team had hoped for a breakthrough, but now they faced the reality of lost opportunity. Maya felt the weight of it all on her shoulders. She spent many nights awake, thinking about what could have been and what must now be. One morning, she called a meeting with her core team. The room was filled with familiar faces, people who had stood by her through every challenge. We've lost the partnership, Maya said quietly, meeting each person's eyes. But this is not the end. It is a moment for us to grow stronger. Her words were met with silence, but then a young engineer, Priya, spoke up. Maya, we believe in you and this company. We will find new ways. We won't give up. Maya smiled, feeling warmth spread through her. It was moments like these that reminded her why she kept going. In the weeks that followed, BrightPath focused on smaller projects, community work, and building new relationships. Maya poured her energy into the technology education program, visiting schools and speaking to students who saw her as a role model. One afternoon, Maya visited a school where children were learning to code. She watched as a girl named Amina worked carefully on her computer. "Do you like coding?" Maya asked. Amina looked up, her eyes shining. "Yes. I want to create something that helps people." Maya felt a deep connection in that moment. It was a reminder that success was not only about big deals or money. It was about impact, hope, and inspiring others. Despite the loss of the bank partnership, BrightPath's reputation grew. Maya's leadership and vision became known in the industry, and new opportunities began to appear. One day, Maya received an unexpected invitation to speak at a business conference about diversity and leadership. She accepted, knowing it was a chance to share her story, not just the victories, but the struggles as well. On the day of the conference, Maya stood on the stage in front of hundreds of people. She spoke honestly about her journey, the challenges she faced, the disrespect she encountered, and the silent moments that tested her. "I want you to know," Maya said, "that respect is earned through kindness, integrity, and strength. Sometimes, we face silence and rejection, but those moments do not define us. We define ourselves by how we respond." The audience listened quietly, moved by her words. After the speech, many people came forward to thank her, sharing their own stories of struggle and hope. Maya realized that her journey was not only about BrightPath. It was about breaking barriers, opening doors, and helping others find their voices. That evening, back at her apartment, Maya felt a deep peace. The silence that had once felt heavy was now a space filled with new possibility. She sat by the window, looking out at the city lights. The world was still full of challenges, but also of hope and promise. Maya whispered softly, "This silence is not an ending. It's a new beginning." The months following the lost partnership were some of the most challenging Maya had ever faced. But through every late night and early morning, she held on to her vision. BrightPath was more than just a company to her, it was a promise to herself and others that dreams could be real, no matter the obstacles. One crisp morning, Maya stood before her team in the office. The energy was different now, stronger, quieter, full of purpose. "We've come a long way," Maya began, her voice steady. "The bank partnership was a dream, but dreams don't end when doors close. They change shape. Our future is in our hands." Her team listened closely, their faces full of hope and determination. Over the next weeks, Maya and her team focused on innovation. They developed new products, formed partnerships with smaller but passionate companies, and deepened their community programs. BrightPath was becoming a symbol of resilience and creativity. One afternoon, Maya received a phone call from a small investment firm. They had heard about BrightPath's work and wanted to explore opportunities. It wasn't a huge bank deal, but it was a start. Maya smiled to herself. It was proof that hard work and patience could open unexpected doors. At the same time, Maya's community projects flourished. The technology education program expanded to more schools, reaching children who had never touched a computer before. She often visited the classrooms, sharing stories, listening, and encouraging. One day, while speaking to a group of young girls, Maya noticed a quiet girl sitting in the back. After the session, Maya approached her. "Hi, I'm Maya. What's your name?" "Lena," the girl replied softly. "Lena, do you like learning about technology?" Lena nodded. "I want to be an engineer someday." Maya's heart warmed. "You can be anything you want, Lena. Believe in yourself and keep working hard." Lena smiled shyly, and Maya knew this was why she never gave up. BrightPath's success began to catch the attention of the industry again. Slowly but surely, invitations to speak, collaborate, and share ideas came in. Maya's story of perseverance inspired many. One evening, as Maya stood on her balcony, watching the city lights twinkle like stars, she reflected on how far she had come. The moments of silence and rejection had been painful, but they had also made her stronger. She thought about the bank teller who had thrown her ID on the floor, an act small in size but large in meaning. It had sparked a difficult chapter but also a powerful transformation. Maya knew that respect was not always given freely, but it was always earned by staying true to oneself. Her phone rang, breaking her thoughts. It was Anna. "Hey, how are you?" "Good," Maya replied, smiling. "Busy, hopeful, and ready for what's next." Anna laughed. "That's my Maya." Maya felt grateful for friends, family, and her team, the people who had lifted her up when times were tough. The next day, Maya received a letter in the mail. It was from the bank. She opened it carefully. Inside was an invitation to a meeting, a chance to discuss new possibilities. Maya paused. The silence that had once felt like a wall now felt like a bridge. She knew she had changed, and so had the world around her. This was not the same partnership from before, it was something new, built on respect, strength, and understanding. Maya took a deep breath and smiled. Whatever happened next, she was ready. She whispered to herself, "This is the beginning of everything."